Welcome back, everybody. Give us just a sec while, of course, we still do our little thing at the beginning and try to get it all set up and going. Oh, what a day. Man, yesterday was absolutely crazy. So it was, man, like we didn't even get to work on this project at all yesterday after we got done with what we did here in the class. So, oh, in the class? Is that what this is? Is this what we're calling it? Class?
Yeah, it's a class.
We'll call it class, because you know, might as well be class, right? So, we, yesterday, we made our little cupcake, and this is how far Kate got. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's like super stinking cute. So, we have a lot that still needs to be done on here. Do you want to add like the little ribbing down here for the cupcake wrapper itself? What do you think?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're being like super indecisive today. Like we had to go over to the school to turn in a couple of Kiari's books. Kiari, by the way, Unicorn Girl, is on her way to Las Vegas. My brother lives down in that area, and so they just went down there for the weekend to go kind of hang out and spend some time with other parts of the family. And so I had to go turn in all of her books and do some of that stuff. And I was asking Kate, I'm like, what do we want for lunch? What was your answer? What was your answer? I don't know. And then I kept saying, well, what do we want to do for lunch? I don't know. So we came home, she had toast, and I had an egg salad sandwich. I don't know. This is Miss I don't know right now. All right.
Friday, I'm allowed tonight.
It is Friday. I'm so excited, and we have a long weekend, and then school finally is done next week. But yes, we still have school next week. This is my happy face. Or not so happy face. I can't wait till school is done, and I better not be the teacher in the fall. That's all I can say. So yes, we can go ahead and cut off those little ends. Let's get our camera set up here so that people can actually see what we are doing. Why don't you work with it right here? Switch your camera down the bottom one. So welcome everybody that's joining us. And for those of you guys who are new to our channel, I just want to kind of give you an idea of how we're running this particular series. So most of you guys are familiar with me already and that I have like over 300 videos. Go ahead and cut those off. Make sure you hold those so that they don't fly. Now look where you're cutting it. See how you're kind of far away? You might as well just cut it right up against it. Yep, you might. Now, don't you dare cut it with those tips. Remember we were talking yesterday about people breaking their pliers or their cutters and stuff like that? Yeah, so you always want to try to avoid the tips of your cutters if you can, okay? But anyway, so I have over 300 videos that are out here on YouTube at this point in time. And most of them I pre-record, I edit, they're very professional, they're great, they're fantastic. Well, this series is not that. This series is completely live. I am teaching my daughters how to make jewelry and teaching them this skill and how to do all of this. So it's a little off the cuff. You never know what's going to happen. I just want to just check and see what we've got going on here with our joins, our solder joins. Okay, that's looking pretty good. What's that? Hey, you want to pull stuff out of the scrap bin? That's great. We can do that. So anyway, especially when Unicorn Girl is here, things definitely tend to get a little off topic. We definitely try to bring it in a little bit, but you never know. She's 9 and ADHD, so you just kind of go with it. So if that's not your thing, this is not your series. If you're okay with that and you don't mind just being a voyeur and kind of watching as I teach the girls and learn, you'll probably pick a few things up. Those of you guys who like to stay, please subscribe, like the videos, give us a thumbs up, comment, let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking, but be nice. There's no need to be mean, right?
We don't like mean people.
We don't like mean people. Mean people are just not fun.
No.
All right, so because Kiari's gone, obviously Kate gets all of our attention today. And she said she's gonna talk today. Yesterday was not a talky day, was it? But today is, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. So what we're going to do, Kate has this little cupcake that she designed. Everybody, you know, she allowed people to vote for what they wanted to have her make. And so we did the cupcake. We got it started yesterday and it is so stinking cute, you guys.
Let's go in here.
Yes, but actually, why don't we look through, whoops, wrong way on this camera. Go ahead and switch us to this bottom camera so we can see what we're doing here. Okay. So what we have here now is we've got our cupcake and she wants to add the ribbing for the cupcake wrapper. And she's decided that she doesn't want it stamped, but she would rather have it raised a little bit. So Kiari is gone. We'll call you Kate today. How's that? So welcome everybody that's here. We're glad that you guys could be here. So Kate, take the calipers and what you want to do is you want to measure these. We need 1 millimeter wires for what we're doing. Might as well keep it 1 millimeter because that's what we have used everywhere else. Now some of the things that we talked about yesterday, because we know we need to add the ribbon. Yes, 0.97 is close enough to 1, right? You round that up because you're down there. Yeah, that's too big, 1.3. So we just want 1 millimeter. So, you know, like 0.97 is going to be great. 0.95, that's 1 millimeter. Close enough. All right. So we got our little frosting soldered onto here. And Kate, as I was looking for some different things, I came across these little bezel cups and these little synthetic rubies. And I was thinking maybe that could be something that we use for the cherry. What do you think? Huh?
Okay.
Okay, you like that? Yeah, this is plenty of wire, so that's good. So what we need to do, and you can even use this wire that you cut off that was a little bit larger, but yeah, wouldn't you think that would be cute up here? Mm-hmm. And because it's already got the bezel cup, it's easier because you don't have to make it now. Right? So sometimes we like little cheats like that. You'll still have to set the stone in there in the bezel, and you've never bezel set a stone this small. This is 6 millimeters. But I think that it'll be really cute on your piece. Oh, and I also thought of something that we can use different for the coloring rather than resin for the sprinkles. And I'll show that to you once we get some things on here and going anyway. So what do we need to do here? What do you think? You have to verbalize because people cannot read your mind. So you get that while I'm going to get our soldering stuff set up.
You want me to get these and measure them out and then cut them?
No, matter of fact, you can leave them long if you want, or we could cut them. If you're going to cut them, because this is really long, I would still cut it long, okay? Yeah. And then I would also trim these ends up here because right now they have a pinched end, and that's going to make it a little bit messy when it comes to soldering that into place. Does that make sense? Good. Yep, you want to cover up that little bit right there so that it doesn't fly off or anything. I'm going to back you up because we're going to have to move you over a little bit so we can get this soldering stuff put in here. Oh man, we didn't get our... Oh, it's okay. I say we didn't get our flux closed well enough yesterday, but I think we're all right. All right. And we also never got the little balls into the solder that we did yesterday. All right, dude, I need you to just get over. Soldering station coming through. So go ahead and just move all of this over a little bit, please. So we can get the soldering stuff into place. Move our hammer out of here. All right, so what you're going to be doing is a little bit more complex again because you are talking about taking and soldering multiple elements onto your piece, right? Mm-hmm. So we have a couple of different soldering aids that we can use. What are those soldering aids? Do you remember? Remember what they're called? Mm-hmm. So we've got the hummingbirds that are by Elie Ghanime, right? Mm-hmm. We have the hummingbirds. We also have the will holds. So we have a couple different things that will help us hold those into place. Tell you what, why don't you take, hang on, let's get these off here real quick.
Little sprinkles.
Yep. Those are kind of fun for little sprinkles, don't you think? All right. We had a little bit of that charcoal dust on there. Okay, go ahead and get your cupcake on here. Let me zoom this back in a little bit. So let's get your cupcake back into or onto this. Onto the camera. There we go. There you go. It's probably good there. Okay. So let's get your little ribs.
I haven't made them all yet.
That's okay. You can still be making them. It's not a problem. Actually, why don't you do this? Let's flux the back of our piece. Okay, and so that part can dry. And then you can go ahead and flux the top part too. And that will help hold all of your pieces in there. Okay, it just helps hold everything into place. Do it over here so they can see what you're doing, please. What? Right there. There you go. Well, kind of pull it down just a little bit. Yeah, here, I'll just move the camera. How's that? There. There's more than one way to skin that cat. Why would I have you flux the back of this?
Don't know.
Do you want to know?
Sure.
Wow, you have so many words, dude. So many words. So the reason that I want to flux both the front and the back on this is to kind of help prevent fire scale. Go ahead and flux the front. Yeah, get the front and go ahead and flux the whole thing. Okay. And what we could do, Sue Ellen, isn't this really cute? I think she's done such a fun job on it. It is really cute. And she's learned a lot already, haven't you? Or have you? Have you? I hope so. Yes, Sherry, I will try to get some links for the hummingbirds. I know that, I don't know if Elie sells them on a website. I know he is on Facebook, and that's where I've always seen him sell the stuff. So if I can't find a link for it, I'll at least try to find his email address so that you can contact him for that. All right, and don't rinse off your brush because you can just go ahead and flux your wires as you get those into place. Oh, does he sell them on Etsy too, Sue Ellen? Thank you. So, Sue Ellen, I don't know, do you have, like, I can't get the address right now, but Sue Ellen, if you have that, if you'd pop it into the comments, that'd be great. Oh, E.G. Jewels. Thank you. So, E.G., that makes sense because his name is Elie Ghanime. He's a fantastic tool designer and an amazing jeweler. All right, Miss Kate, I'm pulling your hair back.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Okay, so what is the purpose of fluxing all of the wires?
So, same reason you're fluxing everything else?
Well, in this case, it's so that our solder will flow, right? We want that solder to flow, and we need to keep that oxygen at bay. See, I think you're a little long on that one.
I know.
Yeah, but what's going to happen with that is it is going to, see, it has too much weight. So it won't allow you.
I need to measure it so I know how to cut it.
Hold on to that other piece with a pick or something. Nobody can see what we're doing because we're covering up the cameras. Sorry, guys. She just had this really, really long piece of wire, and you know how gravity works. It made it so it would not sit properly.
No, this is pinched.
Oh, here.
We just turn it around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good then. Good thinking, dude.
And then bring them this way now.
Oh, that's good. Yep, that'll be cute.
And then this one needs to be cut too.
All right, well, here you go.
And
Because
both
you haven't
sides are
fluxed it
pinched.
yet, right?
Both sides are pinched.
Yeah, and you haven't fluxed that one yet, so go ahead and get that one all ready. Okay. So,
I need this.
when we go to put our solder onto this, where are we going to place the solder? Any ideas?
And the little like crevices.
So this is kind of where I like to use that wire solder. So you guys have seen that I use both sheet solder and wire solder. And I kind of like the wire solder on this one too, because I can nestle it. What was that? Some weird sound over there. Anyway, so I can nestle it right up against the wire and it will just kind of suck in when it starts to flow, and you don't really have, that's okay. You know what, we'll just use one of the hummingbirds to hold it down into place. Yeah, and that'll help too. But anyway, and you can cut it down. If it's not fluxed yet, I mean, go ahead and cut it down a little bit and that'll help hold it into place as well. But anyway, so you can, what was I saying? I'm done.
Hummingbird.
Yeah. Anyway, we can use the hummingbird to hold that down as well. But anyway, so there's a number of places that you can put that solder. And then if you put it into a high enough spot, then you can always sand it down or file it off as well. So you have a number of options there. All right, good. Okay, let's come back to this view. So now what you're going to do is you are going to put your solder into place. Yeah, it looks like we should have trimmed that down a little bit more.
No, because he still needs to come in. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that's cute.
Just like that.
Yep, that looks cute. Okay.
Like that.
Okay, there's your solder. So go ahead and get your solder into place. Don't worry about rinsing out the brush because we'll probably still need some more anyway. Yep, there you go. Okay. So we are using hard solder again.
How much solder do you think I need?
Janet, I did say a 4-letter F word. I did. And you know what? I use that particular 4-letter F word all the time. And it is something that Kate absolutely hates doing. File, 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 file. She just gave me a dirty look. All right. So yes, what we want to do is put them right here, right there at that join. Nice job, Kate. Try to stand it up if you can. Oh, perfect. Yep. If I stand it up, then it has less contact point on our piece. And that's, what's that? Oh yeah, it's stuck on your tweezers now. Nice. All right, so anyway, what I want to do, you're so funny, but yeah, anyway, I won't say anything else. All right, good. Okay, so now if we do this with only one piece of solder up there, there is a possibility that we'll get the solder to run down and float all the way down, and it might not. So,
more solder.
What?
More solder.
So you could either put more solder on here right now, or we can just leave it and go for it and try.
And
now,
then would we wait and then we put more solder and then we try again?
Yes.
Before we quench it?
you could.
After?
You could. It depends. So what she's asking is, you know, if we go through and we flow the solder on this and it doesn't flow all the way down those ribs, do we then just add more solder before we pickle it? Do we add more solder and then try again? So it depends. Like if you do this before you quench it, sometimes as long as there's not too much oxidation here, you can do that. You can come in and add a little bit more solder and go for it again. But once you have quenched, not just pickled, but once you have quenched, then you have to pickle and then come back. Okay. So we'll just kind of see what happens. Now, do you want to risk this? Because we've got a lot of flux on here. Okay, what's going to happen when our flux starts to dry and go through its phases? It's going to bubble up. So what we can do, I mean, and already we're going to be running a real big risk right here where
Too much on.
there's a lot here and it's okay. But it just means that we're going to have to be aware that, especially right here where we've got a big pile of flux, like we could work some of that out of here, but you're just going to have to know that that's going to just bubble. Okay, let's see if we can get this little guy right there. There we go. So this is gonna just bubble. It is. And it's okay, but we can either risk it and go for it, or we can use the hummingbirds or the will hold to really just kind of make sure that we hold things into place so they don't bubble up and move around. What would you like to do?
Which one do you think is better?
Nope, this is your piece. You get to try. I know what I would do. I want to see what you think you should do. I'm not telling until you make up your decision first.
They do.
Well, we're not going to ask them. Well, you could ask them, but I will hide all of their answers. So, what do you think? No, Kate, this is, so if I had you in my class right now, let's say all of these people, let's say we are all in a classroom right now. If there was one of me, and look, there's 25 other people right now watching. Okay, so if I had 25 people plus you, that's 26, one teacher with 26 students. I'm not going to be able to come over here and say, this is what I want you to do. You have to figure it out. So let's pretend you're in a class with 27 people, 25 people. What are you going to choose?
I would come up and ask you.
And what if I'm already busy with 15 other people?
Then I would wait.
And you'll never get anything done. No, make a decision. Do you want to put the hummingbirds on there, or do you want to risk it and go for it?
I know that'll help.
What?
I know that'll help.
Well, you know that it'll help. I mean, you saw how we had to hold down the icing part.
That holds down the wire, not the solder.
No. And I'm not too worried about the solder. But your wire will move too. And that's what I'm saying. So we can either go for it, risk the wire and the solder both bubbling out of place, and then you have to come in and touch them up and move them back, or you can put those on. Yeah, sure, pick the one that's on the bottom. So, all right, so go ahead then if this is what you decide you want to do, and there's not a right or a wrong answer. You could do it with them or you can do it without. It doesn't matter. But go ahead, if you want these, get them into position.
I'm not to put them into place.
What? I will put one into place. You can watch how I do it, and you are on your own for the rest. Okay? So what I would do, and here I would kind of come around and I would put it all up here because we need to heat up down here. So I don't want my hummingbirds here. Okay? We would want these up here and out of the way. So this one I would put right here like this. Okay, and then I would fan the others around so that we have more. Okay, you put the others into position if that's what you want. Now don't put it on the seam. Okay, so maybe we move this one down even. Yeah. See, that's what happens. And it's okay. You get your little butt back over here right now. Nope. Yep, it did. It moved right out of place. And ask every one of these guys how often that happens for them. Kate, let me tell you, it's so much better that this happened right now than when you're trying to solder it, because you know what happens inevitably? You go to flow the solder and all of a sudden it moves and the solder just flowed and it's now in the wrong spot.
No, just messed up all of them.
No, it's okay. That's okay. So, you know what? This one's still okay. That one didn't get messed up.
These two are not.
Well, that's okay. So do this then. Do it methodically, honey. This is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Okay? These are just the things that you learn from and you move on. It's hard because it's kind of disappointing. Stop. You are going to flip that piece of solder. I understand. Use your pick and knock it off. Okay? Use your tools. You have a whole ton of tools here. All right? So, put your next one into place. Put the hummingbird onto it, and then place your solder into it, right? So, yep, see, look, everybody says it happens all the time. All the time. We all know this because this is only the first time it's happened to you. Do you know how many times it's happened to me? I can't even count. I cannot even count. But if you take the time to set this up now, then it will be good. So if you've got your wire into place, put your hummingbird into place. Good. Use both your hands, Dingbat. Well, then maybe you should use a different hummingbird. Like a shorter one or something. There you go.
Hope it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. That looks like it worked to me. Okay, so tell you what, if you're a little nervous about this, what if we just solder just those two on for right now? And then we pickle it and we come back. What do you think? You want to just solder on the two? See how it goes? And then we come back and solder the other two? Yes? No? Nice.
It's moved.
What moved?
The wire.
No, it's back to where you had it.
Because I moved it again.
Well, that's what happens. That's how you do this, honey. It's the process. So tell you what. Let's do those two wires. You want to try to do all four? Sue Ellen, that happens to me too. So Sue Ellen says, many times I get a piece set up and I think it's secure and I hit it with the torch and then I have to start all over. And that happens too. It really stinks when that happens, but it happens. Yes, that's going to be great, Kate. Great, Kate. Good job. Yep. Yeah, the setup definitely takes a lot longer sometimes than the actual soldering part of this. Use your pick. Get your pick ready, because then you can use your pick to knock that off of your stuff. Your tweezers. That's what they're called. Your tweezers. You know, the stuff. Aw, darn it. All right. Yes, and Louise, absolutely. It happens after you spend a ton of time trying to get the setup just right. And you know, we might be going through this and we might still have to come back in. So yeah, I would put that hummingbird out here. Good. Nice. Okay, so let me show them how well this is set up in here. See guys, look at that. She did a fantastic job. And the thing that's really nice about the way you did this, Kate, is that we have this whole shot right here to hit it with our heat. So that is perfect. So what I will do is I would say, let's hit this with the torch. And now some of our solder might bubble out. It might not. But let's hit it with the torch and let's see if we can get these to at least flow a little bit. Once these have started to flow, we can then move our hummingbirds out of place. There we go. Back into place. Yeah, but it's okay because the solder is still right here on the join. So we're okay with that solder placement right there. That's perfect. Okay, so once that solder starts to flow, things are now secure, and at that point, then we can move off the hummingbirds. This wire right here needs to be moved just a smidge because he shifted at one point. There we go. All right, what do you think?
The solder's off.
No, it's okay. The solder is still touching. The solder is still touching both wires. It's fine. I think that that's such a precariously perched one. Oh, you're moving the wire? Okay.
I can't even because the hummingbird's there.
I know it is. It's tricky. Yep, this is what we go through.
I can't move it anymore, but I can move it out of place.
Okay, so maybe if we come in, whoops, of our water there. So if we come in, that's where you had it before, honey. That's totally where it was. It's meeting right up with that little ridge. What? I can't hear you. You ready to try this? Hey, come on, you had a lot of confidence coming into this. You still need your confidence, baby. You ready? Oh, that sounded super enthusiastic. I don't think I believed that. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. You know what the awesome thing is? You have something that none of these guys have. None of them have their mom, who is a metalsmith, teaching them right next to them as they do this. Right? Okay, hand me my pick, please. And you get your pick. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's go back to this camera. Okay, here we go. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna warm up here. Go ahead and keep that torch moving. Now, hang on, just very, very gently come in and kiss it and back it out. Yeah, there you go. So I think, because our solder right here moved ever so slightly, but I think we're okay. Okay, so keep coming in and wrap it. Now, I think we've got our flux dry enough. So work your way all the way over here. Yep, there you go. Because you're gonna have to heat up these hummingbirds as well. Okay, let me move that. Is that better? Okay. Come in just a little bit closer. Good, so now we're headed into our maple syrup phase. Our solder looks great, everything stayed into position. So we're looking really good there. All right, keep coming in just a little bit more. Good. Now, what I want you to do, every now and then I want you to hit up here, but I want you to concentrate down here because we've got so much of a heat sink with these hummingbirds. Okay? Good. Looking good, Kate. All right, so now we've hit our clear and glassy. So clear and glassy means that our solder is about to flow. And there it goes. See this one, he kind of came out a little bit. This is why we have a pick, so that we can come in here and we can nudge that solder. All right, you're done. Go ahead and stop. Now, this one, I saw this one flow down. I did not see this one, or this one flow down. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. Uh-oh, guess what? Oh, no, it's good. All right, so that was perfect, Kate. Look at that. On this, we could add, I don't know. I don't think so. I think we've got enough oxidation here that we want to go ahead and quench that, and we'll pickle it, okay? Good job. Now, was that so bad? Was that so bad? Was that so bad? Don't make me tickle you in front of everybody. Dude. All right, go get that into the pickle. That turned out really good, Kate. You did an awesome job. And you know what? You have just showed these guys that you can overcome that whole nervousness, right? So if you guys saw that whole little interaction, what happened was when that wire moved, it totally threw her confidence completely out the door. And it is hard because you think that, oh, I've just set this up. It was beautiful. It was perfect. And then things move and she had to like redo all of her ribs for this little piece. And it's discouraging, but it's not too bad. Hey, come on. You told me you were going to be happy today. I'm holding you to it. Ooh, I'm holding you to it. Else I'm going to make you do all the yard work on your own. Yes.
That's okay, then I can make more money.
I'm not going to pay for it. That's going to be a punishment, not a job that you get paid for.
Okay, I think $25 a paper on that.
What's that? Oh, so last night, well, okay, back it up just a little bit. When I was back in Ohio in August, I went back there to film for Make It Artsy and for Beads, Baubles, and Jewels. Both, by the way, both of which are currently live on both of those websites. I have the episodes out on my YouTube channel, and they have been airing recently on both the Create channel and on PBS. So I actually come to your home television too sometimes. But anyway, while I was there, I met with Aaron Aves, who is part owner of Aves Epoxy. I don't know, what is their company? Something. But anyway, they make this product called Epoxy, and it's a 2-part epoxy clay. And Kate has been using it to work with her doll customs that she's been doing. So she's added things like ears, she's added limbs to dolls, and all kinds of interesting things with these dolls. They're kind of cool. What's that?
I need to get an Ever After High doll so I can do
Yep.
one.
Yeah, so if any of you guys have any Ever After High or Monster High dolls that your kids no longer play with, we know who would like them right here. Because what she does is she totally takes off all of their hair. She completely takes off all of their makeup, any face paint they have, anything like that.
Go get one.
Go get Past. Or whichever dolls. Bring a couple of them down because they're kind of cool. And we have to wait for the pickle anyway. What's that? Okay. All right. So anyway, So yesterday, Kate and I got onto their website and ordered some more of this epoxy clay. And we've got a few different ideas that we are going to show you guys during the live videos as well on how to use some of those. But it's really kind of a cool clay because you just take it and you mix it up. It's 1-to-1 ratio. So you've got kind of your, it's like a resin clay almost. So you've got your hardener and then you've got the resin part, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. And you mix them together and you have, I think, I don't know, about a 45 minutes to an hour or more working time on it where you can sculpt it and do all kinds of things. So anyway, we are going to do some of that. Sue Ellen, it is not quite like PMC. PMC requires either a torch or a kiln to harden it. This stuff air hardens. And then there was a lady that was doing her project. So Aves was kind of sponsoring this lady, and her name is Gay Isbar, I think. She's a very talented woman as well, who does all kinds of amazing things. Like her stuff is in all these different magazines, high-end actors and whatever wear her stuff. It's kind of cool to see some of the things that she has done. Yes, epoxy sculpt and epoxy. Which one did we use? You use epoxy.
I use epoxy sculpt.
You use epoxy sculpt. So you guys, let me show you some of these dolls. So Kate has taken off the doll's hair completely. And which doll did this used to be?
That was a Blondie Locks.
Blondie Locks? So Goldilocks' kid or something? So anyway, so she has come through and she's redone the hair. Is this one rerouted or did you glue this one on?
That was before I got a rerouting tool.
Okay, so this one's glued on, the hair is. Isn't that cool what she's done to it? So this is the ghost of Christmas past. I don't know, or is it her kid?
No, that was just passed.
Just passed. So she was doing, because did you finish all of them? You were doing a series
because
of all of these, right?
Yeah. I don't like Future that much. I'm probably going to redo Future.
This is the ghost of Christmas Future. Oh, this is present?
This is present.
But look at it. So she has done all of their clothes and she's taken off the makeup, redone the makeup. What did you do with her hair? Anything?
No.
Nothing yet?
No.
But you redid the face. You guys, look at the freckles on this. Can you guys see that? Hopefully I hope it's zooming. It's focused on her.
You can really tell.
Isn't that cute?
You can't tell on the camera, I don't think, but I did candy cane for her lips.
Oh, you did do candy cane for her lips. That's cute. And I love the little red nose. She's got a red nose. I love that. But it's very cute. And then she made, like I said, I'm getting little fuzzies. But she made their clothes, all their clothes, and has repainted shoes and boots and everything like that. I mean, aren't these kind of cool? And this is just something, I love this. And look at the freckles. I hope that's zooming. I'm hoping it's focusing. It's not. There it goes. Look at the freckles on her face. Isn't that cute? And then you did that outfit too, didn't you?
I made that.
That's so cute, Kate. And then she made the boots.
For to get it on.
And you guys, look at the detail she does. There's little tiny flower beads down here on her boots.
Outfit, I actually made it with snaps and buttons to make it removable.
That's awesome.
And then this one's the one that I used epoxy.
Okay, yeah, so she's done, you guys can see she's sculpted the ears, and she's done the hair. Did you reroute this one, or is this one glued on as well?
I think I did a glue with this one. My rerouting needles are all broken.
And then she's used the sculpt to
do little shoes.
Yep, do the boots and stuff like that. Isn't that fun? Like, Kate blows me away. So, and that's the one you're still working on, huh?
Kind of. And then she's got like little painted hands.
That's fun. And she does like the whole ombre thing. So she's still learning.
You can tell.
We got some fun things going on.
It's like all painted to look like fur.
So like I said, if you guys have any of those dolls sitting around and you don't want them anymore, I know somebody who would want some.
I'm on one that's a Barbie right now even.
You're going to do a Barbie?
I'm doing a Barbie right now.
She's like, I never want to do Barbies.
I've got one. I'm doing Nature Goddess.
Nature Goddess.
Right now.
Very cool.
It's because I was given a Barbie. I was like, might as well.
Might as well. Yeah, and then so other things that she does too is she takes her American Girl dolls and she will do stop motion videos with them. We don't have any that are ready to show yet. But we just need to do the editing on it, huh? We got to get it finished editing, and once it's done, we'll show you guys because they're kind of cool. It's fun to watch her work on these things.
2 finished.
2 of them? Nice.
I don't know what to do.
Okay, so when you come back down, check the pickle and see where we are on your piece. It might not be completely done, but we only need it done a little bit just so that we can get some more of that solder to flow in there. Okay. So, isn't that fun? Isn't that cool? I mean, and this was all stuff that she decided she wanted to do kind of on her own. Kate is definitely my creative one. I have to say, like, this whole quarantine thing and being able to spend this time with her in the studio has been a lot of fun. Kate struggles with school. There's definitely some learning disabilities that we've had to work through, and she works so hard. And it's unbelievable what she does do with the challenges that she has. And so it's been fun to see her kind of work into that art realm. And then as she develops the skills here, you know, it's nice to know that she'll have something that she can do if she decides not to pursue college or academia or whatever else. You know, and I'm one, my husband and I both have higher educations, and I think you have to be, I think absolutely you should always be educated, but I don't think it has to be a college education. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so we do still have a little bit of there's a magnet there that keeps grabbing my watch. So we do have some oxidation here that may hinder some flowing. And I do think we need to still flow down here. This one did flow. I saw that one. This one looks like maybe it needs a little bit, and this one needs a little bit. No? Where's my magnifiers? I can't see. I'm starting to become blind as a bat. So let me look at this a little closer up here. All right. So actually, this one has flowed. Oh, that one did too. You know what, Kate? They all did.
They all flowed all the way?
They all flowed all the way. Perfect. Well, good. Then we don't have to do that part. Nice.
At this point, I'll be like, I'll go to all my friends. I'll be like, I'll take the donations of your dolls that you don't want anymore.
Yes, Kate the doll donation location. Okay, so we are a little bit blobby here with our solder. Okay, you see how it's kind of a little bit blobby there? Well, there's a couple of ways that you can fix that. So one, I'm actually inclined to maybe add another piece of solder and just flow it in just a little bit better. And I would probably do that for a couple of our joins actually. Add an extra little piece of solder just to help that flow a little more smoothly. Or you can then come in and start working with some of the different attachments that we have on the flex shaft, and you can kind of grind those away or smooth them down a little bit, if that makes sense. But I think in this case, I would be inclined to add a little bit more solder. Okay, and this time we don't even have to worry about putting hummingbirds on anything because everything is already in its place. So we don't have to worry about that. So what I would do is I would go ahead and flux this up. I would put a piece of solder right here. Okay, one here. And then I would put one on each of these ribs and one right here and one right here. Now, while we are doing this, let's get our bezel cup soldered into place as well up here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, to do this one, what I think we ought to do, I think we should sweat solder this, and I think what we should do is put 2 pieces of solder here, get them starting to flow, and then put it onto our little cherry top and do that. Okay?
What different pieces are you
So you need to flux everything, right? So before you start picking out solder, let's get things fluxed up. Here, you pick out solder, I'll flux it. All right?
How many pieces of solder do we need?
A few. You're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at least.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so you can just put them up here on the board, honey. All right, so here I want you to put a couple pieces here on this bezel cup.
8.
All right. So, Sue Ellen, crafts and skills training can give you a really good income. I think so, and I hope so. I mean, obviously, when we're working in the crafts and the arts, as we have seen right now, in the situation that we are in our world right now, crafts can be a little hard when it comes to income-wise, right? Because, you know, everybody's kind of struggling. However, your key is that you need to find the audience that has money, because there are a lot of people that always have money. There are always people that always have money. There just are. And so that's who you have to get your crowd to be. I haven't found that crowd yet. So, but yeah. And Gail, you're right. When Kate gets excited about something, the confidence definitely comes up. So, huh, baby?
Yep.
Yep. All right. And so you're going to have a lot of confidence in this area coming up as well. So, all right. So Kate, go ahead and switch down to that bottom camera again for me, please. So go ahead and let's get our solder into place. Everything has been fluxed. Let me do this. Let's dry the flux a little bit so that we don't have to worry about it bubbling off. Okay. All right. And that's enough. So it's not going to take much, but I do want you, I'm going to add a little bit more flux to that. Okay, 2 pieces on that. Good. Yep, good. And then just do 1 along each of the ribs. Here, why don't you swap me places so that you're not just covering up the camera when you go to put these all on. What?
Boink.
Boink. Yeah, and so again, what we're going to do is we're going to move this. Go ahead and try to set it right on top of the join this time.
Don't know what you mean.
Maria, it's hard to find that crowd, isn't it? I need to find that crowd and then be like, you know, I'm one of those people that sells a little tiny silver jump ring bracelet for like $5,000. How would that be? I could do that. I can make amazing silver jump ring bracelets. I know I can. And $5 grand, I would be happy as a lark. Right?
I just need people to donate dolls to me and I'll be happy.
Yep, right now you're in the donate doll phase. I'm a little beyond that part. Because now we have to make a living.
So I just need people to donate dolls to me.
You're funny.
Because then I just make over the dolls and I'll be happy. Because it's
Tracy, I'm not one who's always rich either. We've never quite known that one.
like
No. Well, actually, so
understand.
what I would do, all right, what I would do is I would actually take these and place it right on top of that seam. And sometimes that can get a little bit precarious. Whoops, see, just like that. So sometimes it'll go, sometimes it won't. There we go. And even if we just lean it up against it, then that's pretty good there. Sue Ellen, I'm so glad to hear that you've had people buying. That's fantastic. That's my wish for all of you guys, that you still have people who are buying and who are still spending. I love that the world is starting to open up a little bit. You know, it makes it lovely to be able to feel like you can have a little bit of normalcy. I mean, obviously, I don't know that we're going to go back to any normal that we're used to, but I want a little bit of normalcy. Okay, you ready? Get your torch going. Now, we're going to be very careful here. Let's pull this guy over here.
Do I want to do that first?
I do want to do him first, but I didn't want to get any oxidation over here. Okay? Tracy, that's a good point. Bye, Riley. Have a good day. We'll see you tonight. You're off at 11?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you tonight. All right, so go ahead and let's get the solder going on this. Okay, good. So, yeah, we're still on camera. Now, we're only going to go just until it starts to flow. There you go. Nice. All right, so now what we're going to do... Oh, he's stuck right there. Lovely. Perfect. And we'll just solder him into place. Okay? There you go. So, Tracy said, I hope I never get rich because I'd be tempted to stop trying. And I think that there's a lot of truth to that.
No.
It's okay. Go ahead and I will see if I can get him picked back up and into place. I don't know what happened to my other little paintbrush. There we go. It's okay. Go ahead. There we go. Tom, welcome. It's good to see you. Hey, Tom, I do not have your information yet for winning our giveaway. Keep it going, really. Just keep it moving. There you go, because now we're headed to clear and glassy. Good, 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 good. Oh, it's about to flow. See, we're starting to flow now. Keep it going, just a little more, a little more, a little more. That one's perfect, perfect. This is flowing beautifully. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to come up here, and we're going to just very gently hit this up here. And I see, I think it flowed. We're going to hit just a little bit, a little bit. I think we're good. I think it flowed. That's fantastic. Okay, good. So go ahead and get that quenched. You know what one of my favorite things in the studio is? Besides having you in here, because that is right now my favorite thing. I think it's so much fun to have you guys in the studio. I love watching the solder flow. And you just watch that bright silver just kind of go, it's lovely. Yes, put it in the pickle. Okay. So Kate, the next thing that we need to do is you are going to start adding your sprinkles. Okay, so we need to figure out what you want for the sprinkles.
Are you showing your resin?
No, we're not going to do resin. So another thing that I have used before is model paint, like for doing the model cars. So it's an enamel paint. Okay, so I will get that once we start to get things going, and we're probably going to have to make this another project, like the next day, because
next week.
Yes, yeah. So we'll have to set the stone because we're already almost at an hour.
So we'll set the stone today and then next week.
No, because we still have to solder on all of the little confetti items, or whatever you want for the sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Unless you don't want sprinkles. I know, we need sprinkles.
Cupcakes without sprinkles are no fun.
Depends. Depends on what else you put on them.
I don't know, we did flowers the other day.
They are better with sprinkles though.
They're pretty good.
Although they did, so for Mother's Day, the girls, my mother bought one of those decorating tip sets that makes all the flowers. So it just has like all these different cutouts in the thing, and you just kind of put it on there and you can pull it up and you get all these beautiful flowers. So for Mother's Day, I got 2 plates full of cupcakes, and they were all these fun little flowers, the frosting flowers and stuff. That was kind of cool. So yeah, so sometimes you don't need sprinkles, sometimes you just need flowers.
She didn't get to eat any of them though.
I didn't eat any of them, darn it.
We made them chocolate for you too.
I know, darn it. Oh well, next time. Gail, you asked, what do we use other than liver of sulfur to blacken some areas? So good question. There are a couple of things that I use in my studio. I use Jack Black, silver, or let's say I use Blackjack and then Silver Max. Is that what it is? Silver Max?
Don't know.
Maybe it's Black Max. I don't remember. I'll look. But then there's another one that I really like, and I always called it Gosiba, but I think it's it's a German name. And you can only get it through All Craft in New York, and you have to actually call them and get it because their website's terrible. But the one that I call Gosiba, which I don't think is actually supposed to be called Gosiba, that one is very expensive. It's like $100 for this little tiny bottle because you have to pay out the butt for hazardous shipping. But it is the one that I really like for getting some darker stuff. But the Jacks, the Black Jacks, I like. What?
Why so expensive?
Silver Jacks, Blackjack. Because one, it's imported from Germany, and 2, because it's hazardous waste or hazardous shipping and stuff like that. So there's a couple of different things like that. And then Alice, yes, sometimes you just need flowers, right? I wish my husband would learn that. You need to have Dad learn that more.
Get you flowers.
Yes, he should get me flowers. So, so I think what we're going to end up doing here, we're going to do our little confetti pieces. I think, well, what do you think? So yesterday you and Kiari made some little balls, right? So we can either do little balls. Did you want to try to do some little wire pieces so that they look like the little long sprinkle things? What are you thinking? What do you want?
I don't know.
Well, you have to know because this is your piece.
Sprinkles.
I'm gonna sprinkle you. So you tell me what you want, because we can look into the little scrap pile that we have here. I have tons of balls in here because Kiari has been on a ball making kick. That is her favorite thing to do. So I just have my little scrap pile in here, and I put everything. Now I have multiple scrap piles, some that have solder items and some that do not. So this one happens to be a clean scrap pile, and that just means that nothing in this particular pile has any solder on it. And then the other ones that I have, they do have solder in it, and so those I keep separate. And that one, like the ones that I have that have solder or anything like that, I also will put like all of my filings. So if I'm filing, you know, and I've got a catch tray or something like that, you sometimes end up with wood from the bench pin. Sometimes I end up with other little copper pieces or maybe some brass, and that one's gonna go to the refiner because that's beyond my skill of being able to refine here in my studio. And so
Where'd the hammers go?
I do keep a couple of those. Did they ever get put back? There's the planishing hammer here.
Because I want to hammer some of the little balls to be flat little sprinkles.
You want to hammer the, well, but look, we have these little flat sprinkles. So let me show you guys something that we have.
Make some of the balls into flat sprinkles.
Let's see if I can get
as well.
You want to, okay, hang on. Let's move to this camera here. Okay. Yes, blackjack. Is it blackjack? Is it? No, it's Jack's. Blackjack. Black Max? I don't know.
Something.
One of them's called Silver Black, I think. I'll go grab them in just a second here. But anyway, so you remember how we were cutting out, we were punching holes in different things, right? With the little 4-hole and 3-hole punch. That's where we get some of these, and see how they are flat? So you could do something like that, but if you want a larger one, then absolutely you could take this ball and Black Max. It is Black Max, okay.
Hammer it with this side?
It's black something.
Hammer it with this side?
Yes, you want to hammer it with that side. Now be very careful because you come down on this the wrong angle, what's going to happen to that ball?
Angle.
Oh yeah, it's totally going to fly. Right? It's totally going to fly. While she's doing that, so yeah, it's Jack's Black, and we have Silver Black, Silver Blackner.
You gotta see what I'm doing, but you gotta hear her voice.
What's that, Kate?
You gotta see what I'm doing, you gotta hear her voice.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works sometimes. That's the benefit when I have the money.
Bring it back now. Whee! There it goes.
Okay. So let me show you guys what we have for some blackeners. Kate, will you switch us to that top camera, please? Good. So do you like that ball flattened, or what do you think?
Trying to flatten it.
Okay. All right. So there is Jack's Black. Okay, now Jack's, and these are very affordable. The shipping is a little bit more because, again, it's the hazardous shipping, and so that's where you really end up paying the price. Stop for a sec, please. So Jack's Black, this one's actually meant for copper, bronze, and brass, but there is a silver blackener from Jack's. All right, so you have that. Now look at this bag, you guys. Okay, this is actually double bagged. Okay, you see how much off-gassing this one does? And if that off-gasses onto your tools, it can make your tools a mess. So you want to be very careful. So these, I keep these stored in bags, as you guys can see. I keep them stored in bags and I keep them away from my tools. I can't tell you how many times I've had people call me up and they're like, I walked into my studio this morning, everything was pristine last night. Walk into the studio today, everything is covered in rust. Or they're covered in this grime. What in the world? And usually it's because there is some kind of a chemical that's sitting there that's open around them. So be aware of that. So this one, I actually double bag. And really, it looks like I could get away with maybe triple bagging it. And I also keep these in a dark area. So this one is silver black. And this one I really like too. It's pretty good. Now, in the case of all of these, when I am using them, I use a mask and I use gloves. Okay, and I also have, depending on which one I'm using, I'm either going to neutralize with baking soda and water, or I'll neutralize with ammonia. All right, because it'll just stop that process in its feet. And this one is Gosiba, G-O-S-I-B-A. And this, like I said, this bottle right here, I mean, how many ounces is that? Does it say? It doesn't even say how big it is. But it's about $100. By the time you do shipping, I think I paid like $94 for it. But the thing I like about this one is that I can pour it into a container, because I never use it right out of the bottle here. I pour it into another container and then I dip my piece, and as long as I can seal up that container and put it into a dark area, it'll last for a while, which is really, really nice. So unlike liver of sulfur, where you have to basically make a new batch each time, this Gosiba, you don't. It's it will last, so that's kind of cool. Let's see, I want to read some comments really quick. So Sue Ellen, you say that you use Black Max. Yeah, and actually I don't even know if I have Black Max. I think I just have the silver black, and then I've got the Jacks is what I have. I don't think I've ever tried the Black Max, so I can't speak to that one. And then, yeah, Tracy, this seems like a huge, and actually it is a huge bottle. I think I've had this now. You guys can see how much I've used in it. I've had this probably for about 3 years now. I don't use it all the time. So there is a difference there. And in each case, I can take a paintbrush and just paint in a small area. And maybe we'll actually even try some of that, because I think that it might be cool. Except I think that it would be better for us to do like the alcohol inks on your cupcake, you know, and get it there into the creases where that silver little wave goes for your frosting. Mm-hmm. I think that would be cool. So, yes, and so, okay, so Sherry, there's definitely something to be said for about the blues and the purples of the liver of sulfur. You can totally get a rainbow effect. Matter of fact, I have a video that shows you how you can get a rainbow effect using the liver of sulfur. So let me check her piece right now. Kate, did you switch the camera so they can see you, or are they just watching you? You should switch the camera.
They can barely see it anyway.
What's that?
See. Trying to make sure they can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not fun when they don't get to see anything. Okay. So, Kate, on your piece, again, it's not entirely done being pickled, but it is enough for what we need to do. All right? I think you're having too much fun. So let me show you what I was talking about, what I'm thinking we should do for coloring these circles a little bit. Now, a while back, I did a video that showed some sand casting. And then so I sand cast each of the girls'
Perfect.
their initials. So I had an R and a Kate, and I made a little charm. And then we put some color into them.
Perfect.
So, nice. All right.
I got some flat sprinkles as well.
Let me pull our camera over here. So this one, this is a purple. You can see that, I hope. You can kind of see the color in there. So we've got a purple, we have a gold, yeah, we've got a red, blue, and green.
Yeah, we're going to give these to you, and then you never gave them to us.
I was, what? Oh, the pendants? Well, they're still sitting over there. So anyway, these little things, and all we just do is we just shake them up because it's just like an enamel, kind of like almost like a nail polish type of a thing. So you just shake them up to mix them up. And then what we would do is, I think, especially like on these bigger ones that you've just created, like if we were using, let's say we were using, there we go. So if we were going to use this, I think what we could do is we could take a ball burr and then just create a little divot into this, like a little scoop out. And then we just fill it in with, you know, one of the colors that we choose of the paint. What do you think?
Okay.
That'd be kind of fun. Or we could even take these, like let's say we get some of the sprinkle, and I don't know how well this part would work. Like I've not done it before, but you might even be able to take like a little piece of wire. We solder it on so that it becomes like, somebody I think called it the stubby or the nubby.
The stem of the cherry.
What's that?
The stem of the cherry?
No, not the stem of the cherry. And matter of fact, we need to get something, we're gonna have to either figure out what we wanna do, if we wanna do a stem of a cherry, or how we're gonna do that too. So that's something we have to still kind of consider and think about.
Little end on the rib.
Yes, okay, so she's asking if she can cut off the ends of this, because yeah, we don't need those now anymore. So yes, just keep it right there so everybody can see what you're doing. Make sure you cover up those ends. So now, yes, make sure you get, so it's okay. So like, okay, so if I were to do this, hang on. Yeah, there you go. And it's okay if, now hold on, keep your finger here, because you want to, okay, let me show you how I would do this, okay? So I would probably come in like this and go back as far as I can. We're only using 1mm wire, and this cutter is rated for that. But I do want to be careful, because by cutting up here, I do risk, I'm working at a weak spot. So I do risk actually cutting or breaking off that tip. However, these are rated for a little bit higher, so I'm not too concerned, okay? But it is something that you definitely want to be careful with. And whenever possible, you want to cut back here a little further into the throat of your cutters.
Okay, cut this one first.
Sue Ellen, you said that you dip, this is for the Black Max. You dip it in a brush and apply it. Yes, an instant black. Yeah, I love that. See, that's the thing I like about each of those different things. Let's see, whenever I switch to the camera on the right, it sounds like we're across the room. Maybe, sorry, does that sound better? I think we might have missed a setting. I appreciate you telling us, thank you. Too bad it's been like that like the whole time now though. So, okay, good. So I guess when I was on the other end of the room, because for whatever reason our audio stayed with our camera, I was clear across the room. So they were hearing you. Okay, so other things that I would do here, because now we have some very sharp ends right here and here and here, right? What do we have to do?
File.
Yep, we get to file.
Bye.
Kate, here's your trusty friend, the file. She ran away because she hates the sound of the file. You'll never be a jeweler if you can't use a file.
I'll be a doll artist.
Nope, because your dolls still need jewelry. Get over here. Come on.
You can make their jewelry.
Get over here. Come on.
No.
Here you go. Come on. All right. Bring a bench pin while you're at it, because you're going to need it. Hurry fast. All right. So what about you guys? Are there tools that you guys don't like working with as you're doing jewelry or metalsmithing or anything like that? Are there tools that just drive you crazy? I don't know if I have an issue with any of these, but Kate obviously does. So you'll get over it. You'll get used to it, and then it'll be like one of your favorite sounds, I think.
No.
You'll be like, oh, I love the sound of this.
No.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those can die.
So Tracy, my sound wavers when I walked across the room, and that is because we forgot to switch it so that the sound didn't stay with the cameras, because normally it's supposed to stay with the mic, and I'm wearing the mic. So if I'm clear across the room, you should hear me perfectly. Okay, so anyway, what I would do on this piece right here is I would take it against my bench pin, and also back here, because this was a pancake die. Sometimes the pancake dies end up having a little bit of a burr. This one was not horrible, so we didn't really clean it up too much, but there is a little bit of a burr here. So take a second here and just kind of clean that up. Oh, that soldered on so beautifully, Kate. And look at how perfectly centered that is. We couldn't have done that any better. That was pretty good. You don't like it when, so here's the other thing too. So look, Sue Ellen says, I don't like it when the file is skipping across a piece. And that's, I think, one of the things that drives Kate crazy is when it kind of bounces across the piece. So what I've just done here is I ran it across at a 45-degree angle. Hopefully you guys can see that, because what we want is we want a nice smooth feel to this. Now, another thing that I would do too, because this is still going to be kind of rough just because we have a smaller piece that ends abruptly, what I would also do is I would probably take some silicone polishing wheels and just really soften each of those ends. So we'll talk a little bit about some of that as well. Tracy, yes, the sound of the file for her is like nails on a blackboard. She hates that. Oh, look how pretty that is. Okay, that's looking really good, Kate. And then I guess we should do this side here too. Do you know what this sounds like to me? So if I get my file just right, it sounds like, you know how we've got those holographic pictures, and they're the ones that like change depending on what direction you have it. You know what I'm talking about? And you can run your fingers on them, and when you run your fingers across that, it goes. That's what it sounds like to me, the filing. Does that bug you too? Like when you run your fingers on those holographic ones?
I don't like the feeling of that.
You don't like the feeling of the holographic ones, or what?
I don't like the feeling when you move your fingers across those.
Oh, when you do that. See, I always loved it. Like, I would always just take my fingers. Okay, so there's that part done now. Okay, so we're already at just a little over an hour. So I think what we will do when we come back on Tuesday is we will get our little pieces either soldered into place, or I might just have her do that over the weekend while we, where we do the little confetti pieces. And that way, then we can kind of have things ready to polish up or, start to color in. Because I think it would be kind of fun, and maybe we just need to experiment over the weekend. I think it would be really interesting to take some of these and see if we can apply it to just those little nubbies, because we don't want it all over the whole piece, but we want to get just those little nubbies so that we've got different colored sprinkles. Does that make sense? So maybe we'll play with this over the weekend. Alice, you're a weirdo. You're totally a weirdo. She said she actually likes the sound of fingernails on a blackboard. So, okay, so you want to know what mine is? Like, if people take their fingernails, and it makes my jaw just clench up right now already just thinking about it. But I hate it when people take fingernails on ice. That one bugs me more than fingernails on a blackboard. Like, I can totally deal with fingernails on a blackboard. I don't enjoy it, but I can deal with it. But the fingernails on the ice, or somebody scratching the ice, it's like my lip, my bottom lip is like, I can't even, like, just the thought of it, horrible. So anyway, Louise, I'm with you. You get chills just reading about some of these things. And that's how it is, like, with ice for me. Like, and when ice is like really dry. So have you guys ever been, I don't know if you guys have ever been when it's really, really, really cold and the snow gets almost like styrofoam. And we're talking like when it's like 5, 10, 15, 20 below zero. And that's like fingernails on the ice for me too, because that sound of that, like I said, it sounds almost like styrofoam, but just the sound of it's like bleh. See, so we get it. We get that this gets you, but you have to get over this one. Like, I don't have to walk around in snow in 20-degree below zero weather, but you do have to file. So we're gonna have.
You can file for me.
I'm not always gonna be around.
Jerry can file for me.
Oh, Sue Ellen, there's a beach that the sand sounds like that. That would be terrible. I never want to go to that beach. I never want to go to that beach. That would be horrible. All right, you guys, we're going to call it a day. So look at the progress we've made, though. Look how cute this piece is. I'm kind of excited. This is a really fun piece, Kate. This is kind of awesome. So things that we need to consider and think about is we need to figure out how we're going to hang this. So somewhere on here, we need to attach something for a bail, whether we're attaching a couple of jump rings that a chain can go through, whether we try to come up with some kind of a cherry stem.
I think that's probably the best idea. Well,
it's a really cute idea. I don't think it's an easy idea. Okay? It's possible, but we just have to figure out how. So that's something that needs to be considered. We need to figure out where we want to take all of these sprinkles and how we're going to place them onto our piece, where we're going to have them, you know, so if we're going to have them in here or, you know, whatever the case is going to be. So these are some things that need to be done kind of by the time we come back. But see, look how cute that'll be if we get all these little sprinkles in here. And I just dropped one of our little tiny sprinkles. See, look how fun that's gonna be. So, and then
sprinkle's too big.
What's that?
I think that sprinkle.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would cut this sprinkle down, or this one, the big ball.
Yeah.
He is kind of big, but maybe he's like another little cherry or something. I don't know.
Maybe you take.
Yeah, we can. Well, we can always. You've got tons of these, right? So Kiari made you a whole stash of balls to choose from. So I think you have plenty to pick from. But regardless, I think it's going to be really, really, really cute. So this is where we are. And you guys, this is fun because this is kind of Kate's creation. Like obviously, as you guys have seen, I've had to kind of hold her hand on a few of the things, showing her how to like make these the little wave that went back and forth. But she will get to do a bunch of this on her own soon too. So it's kind of fun. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody have. So here in the States, it's Memorial Day weekend. So you guys all have a wonderful weekend. We are taking Monday off. I'm taking off the whole weekend.
Taking a long weekend.
I'm taking well, I would like to say I'm taking a long weekend. I'm not. I'm actually going to be here in the studio filming all weekend long. Matter of fact, speaking of which, I just finished up another film and it was approved. So I will be loading 2 videos. Probably as soon as I get off of this video right here. I've got 2 videos going up for Weekend Jewelry School that are how to polish with the Fordham, and it's pretty good. So the first one is kind of an introduction. It's a little, I think probably, I can't remember, I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes long. It's a pretty short one. The next one, however, is where I actually show you how to do it, and it's about 20 minutes long. So another little workshop for you guys. So that will be posted here within the next couple of hours. So make sure you guys watch out for that. And everybody wants to watch that one. It's showing you how to polish. Everybody's always asking how to polish with the flex shaft stuff.
No, they only want to watch it for 5 minutes.
I know. Everybody's going to get, you know what, that's the problem. That's the problem doing this, because now everybody's going to be so used to having you and Kiari in the videos. They're going to be like, oh, it's just Melissa.
Darn.
I know, they're like, where's the girls? We don't want just Melissa. We need the girls.
Except for the people that...
Did you guys see that Interweave featured us in one of their articles? So it's out on their website. I'll post a link to it here in this video as well, down in the description once we get done with this, but it's kind of cool. They approached me a couple of weeks ago and they had seen that what we were doing with the girls and they thought it was kind of fun, and so they did an article on us. It's kind of cool, huh? Yeah, it was kind of fun. So anyway, I know I've said this already. We will see you guys on Tuesday, and really now I will stop talking and we'll go. So have a wonderful weekend, you guys. Sorry if I've missed some of the comments because it's just a little crazy. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.